Okay, we're back. We're live. I think I got things working properly this time around. Guys, about any issues I had with the mic. You know, sometimes it's just one of those nights where things just don't go your way and everything is all messed up. Let me know in the chat if everything sounds much better. It seems like things are moving a lot smoother than they were earlier. There we go. My mic is back. All right. So listen, again, I do apologize about any issues that I had with the mic earlier, man. Things hopefully should be running a bit smoother. Also, you know, shout out to the guard for returning back to the show. I know he wants to hear about Hellblade. But listen, man, it's news that's out there. I'm not saying it's coming. I'm not saying it is. That's why I have a question mark on that particular subject. I will try to get to it as soon as possible. But I want to touch on this Cliffy B situation and talk about a few things, especially now that my mic is clear and I'm coming through pretty good this time. So thanks, guys, for the heads up. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's show. Let's jump into it because I'm an hour behind, and it's like I said, it's kind of embarrassing for me. So I don't want to just keep rambling on and stuff. But again, you can catch the clean version on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher app, or even on your Xbox One. Just go to apps and download any cast app or podcast app, and we'll pop up, man. Just look up TIC Podcast as one word, and you'll catch us and all our content for Tick Podcast for the Xbox content on there, as well as Tick Network for all our other shows, which is 2XP, Multiverse, and Trophy Life Podcast. So jump into tonight's show, and let's get it started, man. Hey, DX Men, you're now rocking with your boy KOR X Kal-El, the last son of Planet Xbox, and you're listening to Super Podshots. All right, guys, so listen, man. This whole Cliffy B situation is just kind of like awkward to me. I understand why Xbox fans are upset. I get it. Gamers in general are very passionate about the things they support. I got into, I won't say a argument, you know, small debate, or not even debate, just a conversation about Xbox Play Anywhere, and I kind of brought something up, and the reason why gamers are the way they are, and why I think Microsoft takes the wrong approach in some things. Which is neither here nor there. This really doesn't have to do with the Cliffy B situation, but it's one of the reasons why I think if Microsoft took a different approach when it came to Xbox, things might be different, or fans might feel a different way, or they might see things a little bit differently. Though what they're doing is best for their business, still, as gamers, you are always a fan first and foremost of whatever platform or whatever game you're playing or you're playing on. So with the whole Cliffy B situation, most Xbox fans are upset because they feel that Cliffy B, who again, a lot of people reference him to the Xbox 360, but tend to forget my man started with Unreal Tournament. And Unreal Tournament was a fantastic game, one of the best games back in the day, especially on my Dreamcast. I remember rocking Unreal Tournament, 4-player co-op with my boys on Dreamcast back in college. And I'm old, so please don't ask me my age. But but I remember back in the day, 2000, 2001, playing Unreal Tournament, and it was like the greatest game of all time back then. Jump a few years and then we get Gears of War. Gears of War being one of Microsoft's most prominent, most recognized franchises out there, billion-dollar franchise. Cliffy was very prominent in that, as well as Rod Ferguson and a few other people who are part of that epic team. Fast forward a little bit further, Xbox One, PS4 generation, Cliffy B leaves Epic, starts his own independent studio, Boss Key, and starts to work on this gravity-defying shooter called LawBreakers. And most people feel like Cliff was going to bring the game to Xbox, but he didn't. Now, he wound up choosing the PS4 and the PC version. And I think where fans kind of get things a little bit, I guess you could say, too emotional, too attached to a situation. And I understand where they're coming from, because I was that way when it came to Kingdom Hearts and it came to Square Enix, because as a Square fan growing up and as a fan of Final Fantasy growing up and playing Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 on the PS2 back in the day, not seeing it come to the Xbox One as an Xbox gamer now, while also seeing all these newer Final Fantasies coming and all these and the new Kingdom Hearts 3 coming, to me, I felt almost like a slap in the face, because you're going to be putting out, at least when it came to Kingdom Hearts 3, without the backstory of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And at the time, one of the quotes was, "Oh, just look at it on YouTube." And to me, that was disrespectful. I felt that was a slap in the face. So I completely understand where guys are coming from, because you feel shunned in some sort of way. And a lot of people feel Cliffy is arrogant, and they feel that, he gets what he deserves. But here's my point, and this is the point that I'm trying to make when it comes to games. Gamers should never cheer fails. This is what makes me disappointed in some people that I know who cheer on game fail because it hurts Cliffy, but it doesn't hurt Cliffy. It also hurts that studio. It also hurts all the people who left their jobs or joined Cliff at Boss Key to try to make a living and try to support their families. And though that may not matter to the gamer as a gamer, because that guy may one day make a game for Xbox exclusively, and that game may be better than LawBreakers. And you never know what would happen in the future. Now, the thing about it that kind of made it frustrating the most was that when it came to Cliff and everybody's excuses of why they felt like Cliff was, sort of the guy that people wanted to shun because of his attitude and stuff like that. I get that. I have no qualms with what people and how people feel about that. I don't care if you don't support the game. I don't care if you don't like the game. But I find it weird to see people retweeting negativity about something that just started, something that's fixable on the PC, on the PlayStation 4 platform. Again, I'm not sitting up here boasting about the PS4. I'm just talking about the game. Whether the game is good is not relevant. My point is that we should never cheer on failure. Never cheer on failure. If the game fails, it's disappointing and sad that the game failed. You know what I'm saying? But we should never want to cheer on failure, because I would hate to see an exclusive game come out for the Xbox platform and it fails and people cheer it on. And yet they do. And we have to be better. We have to be better as people. We have to be better as gamers. We have to be a little bit more mature. And that's what comes into the effect of, as gamers, we become so attached to the things that we love. Truly is. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, no, I don't love it. It's just a hobby." But you do. No one invests this amount of time into their hobby, this amount of time into making YouTube videos, this amount of time into Twitch streaming, this amount of time into purchasing games and constantly buying consoles and constantly buying hardware and paying for subscriptions and paying, multiples and thousands of dollars to Steam and to Origin and to GOG, and all these other things, unless you love what it is about gaming. And when you have that, there's a passion that goes to that, and you get offended so easily. So it's so easy, to want to then turn around and attack the person that you feel has taken shots or has hurt you. And at the end of the day, you have to always keep in the back of your mind that life is bigger than all that, and life is more important. I'm not trying to be on some psychological or try to be like a philosopher or something. I'm not trying to be Nas, bro. It's not what I'm trying to be. But my whole thing is I think about that studio and how that game would possibly come into Xbox, because Boss Key's an indie studio. The reality of it is, and this is the God honest truth, and I know Xbox fans don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear this, but I'm going to tell you, because nobody else is going to tell you. Everybody else is going to front, pat you on the back, make you feel good, wipe your tears. I'm not going to do all that. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. The reality of it is that Microsoft, other than their big 3 titles, when it comes to the games that they've released, out the gate, they haven't blown any doors off of anything. That's just the reality of it. Us hardcore guys, we go out, we buy those games. We do. But the casuals out there that are supposed to then fluff up those sales numbers, they don't. They are casually doing it, and they're doing it at a much slower pace than back on the last generation with the 360 and the PS3. So you'll get a game that takes a year and a half or 2 years to finally break 1 million, or 2 years to break 2 million. Or you might get a game that's a hit, like a Horizon Zero Dawn or a Halo or Uncharted, and that automatically after a few months is already at 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 million. But nowadays it's so few and far between unless it's a megaton big multi-plat like a Grand Theft Auto or a Minecraft or a sports game like FIFA or Madden or 2K or something like that. So when you're a small studio, what you have to do is pick the platform that has the larger install base. I don't knock Cliffy for doing that. I respect his decision in wanting to try to reach 55, 60 million people out there, because that is the base that will probably be able to get you the most sales out the gate to recoup that money to then turn around and make the game for the Xbox platform. Now, some people will say, hey, that game should have been on Xbox because Xbox guys love shooters. Xbox guys would have supported it. We got Xbox Live. And to that, I say it's probably true. I can't disagree with you on that. Not at all. But if you look at history has it at this point that it's a possibility that the game might not have done it. It might have done worse. Xbox guys might have gotten it and be like, yo, this game isn't what I thought it was going to be. Overwatch is better. And they might have just do it to the side too. And then what? So my whole point is never try to root for the failure or be happy about the failure of a game, because it doesn't only affect that title, it also affects that developer, it affects that studio. And you may never see that game if that developer completely feels shunned. He may never make a game for Xbox. And Cliff's a pretty good developer. People want to try to, crap on him for his attitude and things like that. Hey, I can't that. People are a-holes. Kamaya's is one of the biggest a-holes in the industry. My man blocks you for saying nothing. Typing a period on his timeline and he'll block you. But he was going to make Scalebound, and I was damn sure going to buy it because that was the game I was into. I don't care what these people say. You can talk with your wallets, and I agree. That is the smartest thing to do. If that's how you feel about that one individual person. If you don't want to support that person, that is your right as a gamer to do so. And you can talk with your wallet. But I think about the other people that was involved, especially with Scalebound. I thought about Ken Lobb, who was a good friend of mine and a good friend of the show. and how he had worked on that game and how we had spoke about it when he came on Tick Podcast. And I said to myself, I'm going to buy that game regardless of what people feel about Kamaya because of Ken Lobb and because Microsoft and their team helped develop that game at the time. So I understand what people are saying about his attitude. And if you don't want to support him because of that, that's fine. But never try to cheer on the failure of a game because you feel like you want to get revenge for something someone said. Words hurt, but you can also ignore people, block them, turn things off. Xbox gamers, we don't have to hold on to every single thing and then turn around and try to use it as strength to build up and rally together. Let things go. And I think, and I really hope LawBreakers turns out to be a success. I really hope that the game winds up becoming a title that gets fixed for the PS4 and the game sells, even though right now it's looking really poor out the gate. It's not doing well with Steam nor PS4, but hopefully down the line, it does come to the Xbox platform and the Xbox guys will be able to pick it up and play it. And I know if I get a chance and an opportunity to play it because I didn't play it on the PlayStation 4, if I get an opportunity to play the game and I like the game, I'm going to go out and purchase the title because games. And that's what we should be rooting for. Good games. We have so many crappy games. There are so many bad games out there. So many bad indie games. So much shovelware. I mean, you look at some AAA games we thought were going to be great and they turn around and they aren't good at all. They have bugs or they flop or they just don't hit what you want. So always try to root for the developer and try to just ignore some of the biases of being an Xbox or PlayStation gamer. Now, listen, again, I'm not trying to be a neutral here. I'm not a neutral. No disrespect to the people out there who feel like they're neutral. I'm an Xbox guy through and through. But at the same time, I'm also being realistic. No one's going to tell you that. Your boy Cal will, because Cal is the Xbox hero. And that's how I feel about that whole situation. And that was my point to a lot of people. You know, I would hate to see that studio close down because people didn't want to support the game because of one person. And that's all I'm saying. Moving on. So Hellblade is about to drop. And Hellblade, and I remember a few years ago, I think back when this game was first in development, they talked about how this game was coming to maybe more than one platform. So right now, the game is doing extremely well. It's on PlayStation, it's on PC, and it's being rated very high. Hopefully, everybody's purchasing the game. And the way it's looking, and with most games, same thing I heard about Nier Automata, the way it's looking is that if the game is a success, it will then move over to the Xbox platform. What's cool about that is, listen, it's a reality nowadays. Microsoft is in a position where they are, unfortunately, have a smaller install base than PlayStation. People are releasing games on PlayStation first, and Xbox is getting games later. And the game will hit the platform, and I look forward to it hitting the platform somewhere down the road. Most games that come out exclusively for PlayStation usually say only on PlayStation. Same thing with Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot is looking like it's coming to Xbox as well. So, and I already know about some other titles like Shenmue and Final Fantasy. I swear, I wish I could let you know who told me this stuff, but I can't. I just can't. I'm under some type of, personal agreement not to release that information. But at the end of the day, those games will eventually come to Xbox as well. And that's just the situation. The ball's in Sony's court. They're able to maneuver the way they want to. But Microsoft has done a great job of securing some really awesome PC games, and they're really starting to get that third-party marketing deal support like they used to, especially in 2018. Things are shaping up really nicely with that in the Xbox One X platform. So I really think that you look at next year, Hellblade comes out, you get the definitive edition on the Xbox One X. It's the perfect platform to play it on. I don't mind the wait. I really don't. I have a PS4 Pro. Don't get it twisted. I do have a PS4 Pro. I do. But listen, I play my PS4 Pro sparingly. I usually play it for exclusives. And if I found out a game is coming to Xbox or has a chance to come to Xbox, I just won't play it. I won't buy it. I'll just wait because I just rather have the game digitally on my Xbox. So when the next platform comes out, that game can come with me. Nothing against PlayStation 4 personally, but I just like Microsoft's strategy of bringing games with you and attaching them to your address. There's just more incentive for me to purchase digital games on Xbox than it is PlayStation 4. And as an Xbox gamer, I like that. I like that incentive. I think that's a huge incentive people tend to neglect. So I really hope that the platform does, the game does come out on the Xbox One X probably within the next year and some change. And I hope it gets all the bells and whistles and it looks amazing. I've heard a lot of, I've seen some reviews that look really good. We actually have the PC version in review right now for TICGN. So shout out to those guys and doing a great job of securing that for review. Hopefully we're able to get that out, I think, by the weekend. Or maybe a little bit like Sunday or something like that. But you can check out our review coming up soon on TICGN.com. Hellblade looks interesting, man. It seems like it's some type of mind melding action game. Some people say the action is kind of clunky here and there, but the thing that makes the game really special is the puzzles. And I was surprised that it had puzzles in it. I really thought it was just a regular sort of action adventure game. And it's not. It's actually more to it than that. So hopefully fans are able to check the game out, enjoy the game, support the game, and the game comes out and people really like what that game is delivering from Team Ninja. I would love to see Ninja or somebody work on a new Ninja Gaiden, though, for the Xbox platform. I would love to see that. If Microsoft can deliver a new Ninja Gaiden next year at E3, oh man, that would be huge. That would be huge for the Xbox. I can't stress enough. I think that would be huge. And I don't care if it's a time exclusive or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where if Team Ninja does Hellblade and that's a time exclusive and comes later, I don't see why they can't do Ninja Gaiden and make that a time exclusive and send that later. So listen, you guys can check it out. Just Google Hellblade on Xbox 2014 interview. I think a lot of people tend to forget about that interview and how they talked about bringing that game to Xbox. And recently, well, with the guys over at Square talking about bringing Nair to Xbox as well, because originally the first game was actually on the Xbox 360 too. So, with Microsoft not getting the Japanese support that it got on the 360, I think with the Xbox One X, I look at some of the games coming out next year, like Code Vein and Dragon Ball Z and Black Desert and stuff like that. I think they're shaping themselves up to really try to get back into Japan and really start to bring some of those games over. And whether they come now or whether they come late doesn't matter. What matters is that the library is there, the diversity is there, and the fans see that, and they're able to get those games on the platform, which makes the platform more appealing. If you add that with whatever they're trying to do first party wise, and Microsoft, they got the ball in their court again, and they're dribbling it out, and that's great for them. And hopefully they're able to do that, because I think as Xbox fans, we're all looking forward to Microsoft really getting back to being on top and being a top pedestal type, I guess you could say, platform. I don't think Microsoft is a bad platform by any means, or worse than PlayStation or worse than Nintendo, but I do understand their position. I do understand they're not getting the support that they did when it came to the eastern side of developers, like Japanese developers and things like that. And a lot of indie devs are willing to go PlayStation first before Xbox. So Microsoft can somehow work their way back to getting in the good graces of some of these talents and are able to secure these games first. That way they can make themselves a little bit more diverse and competitive as far as what you have on that particular platform. Then they will be in the money as always. And I think that's great that they are really trying hard to do that. I would never want Microsoft to be in first. I really don't. Honestly, I'd rather them be in second or third forever, because I feel like they work so much harder for you as a gamer, because they want your dollar, because they have to compete with the people ahead of them. I look at what PlayStation is doing, and recently Man, they had I can't even remember what it was. It was something about they had the price hike in the UK, and I mean in Europe, and you have people here in the States that already had that price, and people in Europe didn't understand why they were getting a price hike, and people feel really messed up. Like, yo, you raised the price, but nothing got better. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we getting? Are we getting PS Now for free? Are we getting free movies? Like, what's happening? And people aren't understanding why the price hike is, and it's just basically to match the US and match everything else that they're trying to do around the world to continue to bring in that dough with PlayStation Now and stuff like that, and the PlayStation Online stuff. So I understand what Sony is doing as a business. Why PlayStation fans don't see what they're doing, I don't understand. For some reason, they feel like Microsoft is going to raise the price. But I think what Microsoft needs to do is have a tiered system where you pay, let's say, like one. I think I did the math in my head. I said like 130 for the entire year, and that sounds like a lot. But with that, you get Game Pass, you get EA Access, you get Groove, and you get Xbox Live for the entire year. So all of that stuff is basically bundled together. You got to think about Game Pass and how much that costs a year. That's a month. That's $10 a month. So by the end of the year, you're talking about $120. So if you cut that in half, that's about 60. If you do, let's say, a third and make it, a quarter and make it $30. Make it $30, and then you take another quarter from like Groove, which in itself is like $100 a year, and you take 30 for that. You know what I'm saying? And then you add that to your regular gold sub, which is already $59.99. You're looking at about $120. You get both those things. You get full access to that for an entire year. Microsoft makes an additional $60, but instead of you paying $10 a month or $99 for the whole year, you save yourself a ton of money. And you get those things for a quarter of the price, and it sounds like a lot. It really does. But when you think about what you're getting, free music. Well, I won't say free music, but access to unlimited music. Access to 500 games. Or I'm sorry, 100 games on Game Pass, and those games rotate out. Continue with Xbox Live Gold. I think is great incentive. It really is great incentive overall. So I can't stress enough that, I don't mind Microsoft being in the position they're being. And if Hellblade comes, that's a great thing for them. So we'll see what happens with that coming up over the next couple of months. I will keep my eye posted on any news that pops up and my ear to the street on what's happening with Hellblade coming to Xbox. So listen, man. With that being said, I got to talk about this new survival game coming to Xbox. And I'm really starting to feel like Microsoft is becoming a platform for survival titles. If you go to ICGN.com, we have an article about a survival game called, I don't know how to pronounce it, what, Ceti or something like that, of unknown origin. This is a game that is actually going to hit early access on PC first. It is coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox, but my understanding is that it will release on Xbox possibly first. And it's another survival title. It seems like you were, and it's a part of the Dead Effect series. So if you ever played Dead Effect, and that was a game you really liked, this might be something that will intrigue you. And basically they have PvE, they have PvP. You land on this planet. And if you think about how Ark was, imagine Ark, but instead of starting out in prehistoric times, everything is more futuristic. You can build shelter. You have futuristic guns. There's people out there that seem very primitive, but there's like giant bugs instead of dinosaurs. And there's like giant mealworms and scorpions and like, I don't know what it was that they were showing in the video cutscene. It was like not a minotaur. It was like a centaur, but it was like a scorpion by like the Scorpion King almost. So it was like this crazy alien creature, and and the dude is shooting lasers and there's bugs chasing him and he's fighting them, and they have like, it's creepy. It really is creepy. I mean, if you don't like bugs, this is not the game for you. But you're like stuck on this alien world, and you're surrounded by all of these beasts, and you have these primitive people there, but you're walking around with a gun straight out of Doom. It looks insane, and the graphics look really good. You hop on a hover jet, almost like Destiny, when you get on those little hover bikes, or like Jet Moto. And I know you guys remember Jet Moto. Shout out to Jet Moto, dope game back in the day. And you ride on water, dude. The game looks amazing. But what I'm saying is, I think about Conan Exiles coming to Xbox. Ark is on Xbox. The Long Dark was on Xbox. This game is now coming to Xbox. Xbox seems like the platform for survival games, and they're starting to get these PC titles. I can't stress enough Microsoft making these moves and grabbing all of these PC titles on their platform. People are even recognizing the effort Microsoft is putting out to get these PC titles on their platform. And even if you don't like them, they're there. There's something intriguing about that those games are coming to the Xbox platform. So that's great. I really hope that UWP works itself out. With that being said, I got to talk about Xbox Play Anywhere and why I feel like Xbox Play Anywhere is something that I never really felt Microsoft would be successful at. And the reason why I say that is because of this. EA Origin, you look at Origin or you look at Steam, what they do, or even GOG, what they do consistently is not only do they have third-party titles consistently, like as a PC, you can, get discounts and get games at GOG that's third party, or you can get games from Steam and stuff like that and get those games at a cheaper price or a cheaper deal. But they have an abundance of those games, an abundance. And most of them, though some are indie, there's still a lot of third-party AAA titles that are hitting the PC platform. And that's where I knew Microsoft wasn't going to be able to make it, because you have to convince people, you have to convince developers that on a PC title is important, because they'll get that sale on the Xbox. If you purchase the game digitally, you'll get 2 licenses. So convincing a third party to say, I'm going to put my game on Xbox, PC license for Windows 10, but still put it on Steam or still put it on, GOG or something like that, and still try to make that money. I don't know if that's intriguing. I've said this, I don't know how many times. I don't think that's intriguing. If I'm a developer, I'm losing a sale. No matter how you look at it, you're losing a sale. Now, here's the thing that kills me. Microsoft, in turn, puts their games on PC, right? For the PC gamer to purchase. They have about, I can't think off the top of my head, but they have about 10 AAA games on there right now. 10. I don't know. It's not even that much, or maybe more. There's a few indie games. And out of the gate, Steam guys and most PC gamers just don't like the Windows 10 store. This is all I hear, all I see. They just don't like the Windows 10 store. Not only that, as a PC, obviously, Microsoft is not going to charge you for Xbox Live because you're a PC gamer, and no PC gamer will go for those shenanigans. So you might as well throw that out the window. And that means that Live rests on the backbone of the Xbox gamer that pays $39.99, $29.99, or $59.99 for a Live sub for 12 months, depending on where you get it, and are the ones supporting Xbox Live for the PC guys, who then turn around, buy the game, and play online for free. And even in that instance, right? Even in that instance, PC guys mostly aren't buying these games. Quantum Break had to go to Steam. Killer Instinct has to go to Steam. My point, if you're going to do that, then just put all your games on Steam. Just work with Steam. You know what I'm saying? if you're going to, if you're not going to stick with your ideal goals and trying to grow the Windows store and get better, make the store better, make the store more appealing to the PC gamer, and you're just going to put the games on Steam, which really kind of negates all you're talking about, games being kind of platform, then you might as well just put the game on Steam and just put every game on Steam. Because then that way you were guaranteed to make money out the gate on those games. And this is my point that I continue to bring up about gamers and why Microsoft has to think differently. Remember how I talked earlier about the whole LawBreakers thing and fans and passion and how they felt and all that stuff like that. This is why they feel. This is the reason why PlayStation guys react the way they react when it comes to exclusives. And people put a lot of stock in exclusives. They really do. They put a lot of stock in it because when you have an exclusive game, even if the game doesn't sell, it gives your console an identity. It gives your console something that another console doesn't have. And though it does not affect me as a console gamer and you as a console gamer, it affects the perception of what Xbox is as a platform. And a lot of people support Windows 10, and I don't mind that. Not to do play anywhere. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is do play anywhere, but keep your games purchasable through Xbox only. And this is my point. If you're buying these games, you buy them on Xbox. You have an Xbox platform to buy them from. You want to buy them at the Xbox store? That's fine. You can do that. You want to buy them at the Xbox.com online, whatever, you want to do that digitally? That's fine. You can do that. But in order for you to get that play anywhere, that game needs to be registered on the Xbox. Like, it needs to be on an Xbox. And you can continue to play that game anywhere. You can continue to play that game anywhere. Because I don't think the PC part of Xbox Play Anywhere is successful. It's not. Like, when you look at the overall numbers of these sales, I can tell you at least 90% of the sales are coming from console gamers. Maybe more than that. I think PC is big when it comes to Forza, because Forza is just Forza. It's a huge title. And I know if Halo hits it, people will buy Halo because it's Halo. But you look at Quantum Break, Killer Instinct, some titles, Windows first, just doesn't work out. It's when they hit Steam that they blow up. State of Decay, Ori and the Blind Forest. You think about those type of things, and it really blows up in that regard with Steam. But Windows 10 is not successful. It really isn't. It's very buggy for some people. Some people complain about it. It doesn't work properly. Whatever the reasons are, it's not where Microsoft wants it to be. And I think allowing Xbox to regain their exclusivity as a platform strengthens that platform. Software is key. Software is absolutely key. It is more important than hardware because you make your money on software. That's why I don't even care that PlayStation has 60 million consoles. But Sony is successful because they have 60 million consoles, because they have that install base. You're liable to sell more games through 60 million people. You're able to hit those 5, 6, 7, 8 million in certain aspects on certain games. You're able to hit 3 or 2 million in certain aspects on certain games. You're able to do that. You're able to make money through your stores. People purchase games, third-party games through your store. And I wonder if people even know that if you buy a game from the Microsoft store digitally, Microsoft gets a piece of that profit from buying the game out of their store. It's important for them to sell those games through the Windows Store and through Xbox Live. Piece of that profit very small, but they still get a piece of the profit because you're selling it through their store. They're selling it through their digital store. But if you don't have people purchasing the games on Windows 10 the way you need them to, and you don't have the larger install base where they're going to compensate for the games you put out that you spend X amount of millions of dollars on, that because your install base isn't able to grab that, and the PC gamers are no longer buying the Xbox platform for the games that they want to get, like the Forzas or the Halos anymore, because they feel those games are going to come to PC. So you just shunned your PC purchaser. And now all you have is your Xbox hardcore guys. The PC guys aren't coming over. The PlayStation guys are definitely not coming over. And some Xbox guys are jumping to PlayStation because you had a bad year. You're canceling games and stuff like that. Things didn't work out the way you wanted them to. So reclaiming your identity to me is important. Xbox Play Anywhere needs to be fixed in some sort of fashion, but they're not going to do that. Obviously, they're going to stick to their guns. They feel like it is the best way to go. And in some instances, my editor-in-chief over at TICGN did a great article on why he feels Xbox Play Anywhere should be expanded. It should be able to reach more. It should be on phones and tablets, and people should be able to play these games on Steam and GOG or whatever. But I'm like, at that point, you might as well just go multi-platform. And if that happens, what's the point? Right? I'm not trying to be a fanboy here. I'm really not. I'm a gamer first and foremost, but I don't game on PC. I can care less about the PC platform. No disrespect to the PC gamer. I'm just telling you how I feel. Like, you guys can care less about us peasants in the Xbox gamer and stuff like that, because we're barely hitting 4K 60 or 4K 30 or whatever it is. I can care less about the PC platform. But at the same time, all I'm trying to say is, as an Xbox gamer, Microsoft doesn't look at the Xbox as a team. It doesn't look at it as a competitive team. And this is the thing that kind of frustrates me with Xbox and Microsoft. They need to really start looking at it as a competitive team. They're too buddy-buddy at times. And sometimes you don't feel the fire from Microsoft. You really don't. Sometimes you don't. Very congratulatory to, PlayStation and Nintendo, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But as far as I won't say it's rare, but it's not very often you get that same regard from the other manufacturers. And on top of that, these guys are always looking to go in for the kill in some aspect or form. No one's looking to share games. No one's looking to try to open up their platform to 1 million people, except Microsoft. Nintendo finally is doing it with Minecraft. And that's great for Minecraft, and then that's great for Xbox with Minecraft and Nintendo. And that's cool. But I'm just saying that I understand what Sony is doing. And because of that, that's why the hardcore fans love that platform and why they feel the way they do and go at bat for that platform. And as soon as a game goes from being exclusive to the Xbox platform, then they start getting upset and crying and start making petitions and, don't put this game. This is a PlayStation game. Don't put this game on Xbox. And again, no disrespect to the PlayStation guy. You're only doing what you're supposed to do because you're a fan. That's what fans do. We're gamers, but we're fans. Fans are fanatics. These consoles are like sports teams, and people support them like sports teams. They spend money on them like a sports team. You go out, you buy a jersey. You go out, you get some tickets. You go to the stadium, and you watch those games. It's no different. You go out and you get a different type of controller. You go out, you pick up these games, and you sit there and you play on your Xbox every day. You do everything through your Xbox because you're a fan. That's your console. And I think Microsoft has lost that in regard to not FanFest, personally, as in getting people together, but as far as marketing their platform, as far as presenting games to the fan and strengthening the platform with exclusives that are actually exclusive to the platform, while also supporting Xbox Play Anywhere in a way that benefits Xbox. That's really how I feel about Xbox Play Anywhere and why I think that they need to adjust it. Now, again, that's me personally because I'm a console gamer. If you're a PC guy, I'm happy for you that you're able to get those games, but make sure you buy the games, because a lot of people talk about buying games. They're not buying those games. Oh, I can get this game on PC. You're just saying it as a bullet point, but you're not actually buying those games. Support the platform, support the Xbox if you're going to. If not, Microsoft needs to abandon Xbox Play Anywhere, at least on the PC side. All right, so as we get ready to finish some things up and knock out the last segment of the show, I just want to talk about the new Xbox dashboard. Coming out. It's probably. I know some guys are a bit frustrated with the. I know guys are a bit frustrated with the because as soon as you get used to one dashboard, they hit you with a whole new redesigned dashboard like every 6 to 7 months. And it's an adjustment because you have to find out what things are and you got to press buttons again. A lot of people are upset that we lost Snap. You can't get the little picture-in-picture anymore. With football season coming up, man, there's no better place to be. Like, I remember having NFL Network and being able to snap. No, not being able to snap. Being able to go, maybe that's still on there. Is that still on there? NFL Network and fantasy football. And you're able to see, I think that's not Snap. I think that's actually on the NFL app. That's a really cool feature. If you play fantasy football on the NFL app, you're able to see your fantasy team through the app. And I really wish they had something with Yahoo or ESPN where you could do that as well and see your fantasy team. I think they may have that with ESPN. I have to check that out this year as we start our fantasy leagues. And the new dashboard, it's crazy. It looks crazy, and you can design it however you want. I think this is the coolest dashboard ever at this point. Design the dashboard, put what you want, set things up how you want. No one has to complain about the way something looks or the way something is. If you want this on the front page of your dashboard, add it. You want messages on the front, add it. You want profiles on the front, add it. You want particular people on the front to see what they're doing, add it. You want to put this in a block, do it. I just think that's genius. It's like they actually put Windows 10 tablets on the Xbox, and you're able to just put things in blocks and move things around the way you want to. I think that's really cool. Absolutely just intelligent and smart when it comes to that dashboard. Dashboard is supposed to be much, much faster. They have a new menu when it comes to the side menu when you hit the Xbox button. And then what's really cool is you can finally transfer an entire hard drive to an entire hard drive. So you get that new 8 terabyte hard drive and you want to transfer 4 terabytes of games, transfer the entire hard drive over in one swoop instead of doing it game by game. And that's awesome. That's really cool. I mean, it's not something that's, oh my God, this is beyond special, but it's a cool thing to have when you've never had it from the jump. I just think that's really important. I think that's really cool. So shout out to Microsoft and their continued efforts in improving the Xbox dashboard. I can't wait to see what the Xbox One X dashboard is going to be like, because that's going to be even faster than the Xbox. And I think that Microsoft continues to date and continues to push the Xbox technology and software in the right direction. You got the X1X getting third-party cameras. You don't have to use Kinect anymore. You could just go out and get a 4K camera and plug it up. Oh my God. And that's another thing I want to talk about when it comes to true 4K. I know I stated that I never liked that phrase. I never liked that phrase because I felt that as soon as something negative came out about them not hitting something in 4K or checkerboard, they were going to get killed. And they did. And they did, as I predicted. I'm freaking Nostradamus. But at the same time, I have to respect the whole true 4K narrative because their definition is 4K native, 4K checkerboard, 4K upscale, 4K 60 DVR, 4K Blu-ray player in playback. And two of those features, I'm told, one of the other platform doesn't have, which is the 4K 60 DVR and the 4K Blu-ray player, which makes it a true 4K console. They want to market that, by all means, market it away. Just make sure that people see what they're purchasing. You have those things in the forefront, so that way it makes it sales and people understand what they're paying for $500. Me personally, I got 2 Xboxes ready to be traded in. I'm excited. I can't wait to get an Xbox One X. As soon as that bad boy hits pre-order, I already know where I'm going, straight to Best Buy to pre-order my Xbox One X. You guys should be excited about that as well. You know, Microsoft continues to innovate and continues to do these things, and people don't recognize them for it. And I think they've been doing it really. They've been very consumer friendly. Refunds have now kicked in. If you do a refund, you could do a refund within, I think they said up to 2 hours of gameplay or 15 days not played, or like a week not played. So if you purchase a game, but you never put a minute, you never put an hour, you never put any time, you never turn the game on, you never put any time into the game, you could refund the game, I think, within like 2 weeks or something like that. But if you put 2 hours into the game, you put an hour and 58 minutes, you can get a refund on it. But once you hit 201, that's it. You can't get a refund. And I think that's reasonable for a digital title. I think that's reasonable. Go to GameStop, buy a brand new game and try to return it. They will give you the same game. They will give you some lame ass excuse about why they can't take the game back because you broke the plastic. You don't even have to take the game out the case. You just ripped the plastic. It's no longer new. It's used. Bruh, stop. So shout out to Microsoft on the refund thing. Hopefully the other platforms adopt it, and gamers all around will feel better about their purchases. So listen, man, it's 1:09 a.m. on the East Coast. Shout out to everybody who stopped in tonight. Truly appreciate it. You can catch this episode of Super Podshots on iTunes going up tomorrow. You can also catch Tick Podcast on iTunes, as well as Tick Network, which is 2XP, or shall I say double XP with Fame Entertainment, Trophy Life, and as well as Multiverse with Anchorman up on Tick Network on iTunes. Just type in TIC space network and all those shows will pop out. And they had a great debate recently on 2XP with Dealer Gaming versus Alex something. I don't know his name, no disrespect to Alex, but I heard it was a really good debate about PC gaming and PC parts and Xbox and all that good stuff. So make sure you head over to Fame Entertainment channel, check it out, support, and make sure you get that man thumbs up. The man worked hard for the Xbox community. So listen, man, that's it for the show. I will be back next week with another episode of Tick Podcast and another episode of Super Podshots. We'll have Tick Podcast tomorrow night with myself, Anchorman V, and B Money returning. And we got some news coming up over the next week, man. We made some moves. We got some new teams I can't wait to announce. I'm really excited about it. Just a lot of stuff happening with the brand, a lot of stuff happening with the team and stuff like that. I can't wait to announce and let you guys know what's going on and how we're going to improve. And Tick Podcast is probably going to be moving our show from Thursdays to Saturday nights. There's something that we're working on. We're definitely going to try to experiment with scheduling and stuff like that to try to reach as many people as possible and get that content out there that you guys really like and love. So I'm going to try to answer a few questions. If anybody has any questions to ask, please go ahead and ask them. And then next week, Wednesday and Thursday for Super Podshots and Tick Podcast. The rest of the shows have a hiatus for August because we are working on basically just kind of doing an audit of all the shows, the content, seeing how we can deliver things better to the fans, how we can come up with better topics, not have you guys hear the same stuff over and over again, and bring in new talent, fresh talent, new voices, and new shows. We'll see if you guys like it, and continue to try to be the most diverse channel out there on YouTube when it comes to gaming news, content, and shows. So I'm your host, man. I got to end the show for the MP3 crowd. I'm your host, KLR, the last son of Planet Xbox, and I'm off this planet. You guys have a great night. Peace. All right. So listen, man, I want to thank you guys for staying up real late. I know I know it's late, man. But I definitely appreciate the support as always. If you don't like it, leave it. But if people want to change it, then give them options. At least Microsoft interact and engage with their fan base. When was the last time you heard a PlayStation exec? I mean, listen, I can't say a PlayStation exec interacts with their fan base at all. I'm not knocking what Microsoft does on a physical level. I don't disagree with that at all. I think Microsoft is the most down-to-earth, most human video game company there is. I mean, Nintendo, they don't even do interviews. Trust me, it's damn near impossible to get somebody from Nintendo. Like Nintendo is like damn near the it is funny when you go to E3. I remember one E3 I went to, Microsoft and all the execs are like in the open, bro. Like they're just walking around with the media. This was before they opened it up to the public. They're just walking around with the media and everything is cool. And, everything, they're shaking hands with everybody. It's not a problem. PlayStation execs, they're upstairs. They got a security guard. Like you got to get into a club. Nintendo had a red rope. Like you ever watched movies and they got like red carpet treatment, like you watch the Golden Globes or like the Emmys and they got red carpet and they got a red rope going across. They had a red rope going across an entire boxed area that was huge with like red leather couches, red carpet, and there was nothing in there but execs drinking wine and having conversations while everything else happened around them. That was the most bougie executive suite I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Like Nintendo was so bougie, it was out of control. It was out of control. You know what I'm saying? So Nintendo's funny when it comes to those things. But my point is that I think Microsoft needs to be able to do that on a marketing and software level, an approach level to gamers. I think that's what a lot of people is missing. And especially when you have your executives, other than Aaron Greenberg, who's like a diehard Xbox guy. Shout out to Aaron Greenberg because he's constantly bigging up Xbox. But when you have guys that's like, it doesn't matter the platform that you buy it on, just get the game. If people aren't supporting it, then you're doing damage to your platform because regardless of what anyone else thinks, it's the fans that run the show. It truly is. Because a fanboy will tell his casual friend to get this platform because he's on it. And the more fans and the more hardcore that are on a particular platform, they'll be able to go ahead and grab more people, and more people will gravitate to that platform because they feel like that console has all these games and you can only get it there. Meanwhile, with Xbox, you can get games everywhere except PlayStation or Nintendo. So that's just the reality of it, man. That's just the reality of it. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Check out some of these questions in a few. Side Ninja says, Cal, what do you think about the fact that none on the announced Xbox games, CFD's Crackdown State of Decay, have an iconic protagonist? I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, there's no Master Chief, and there's no, there's no Marcus Phoenix, and and crew like Dom and Baird and Coltrane. I understand that completely. I think that Microsoft was working on it. You know, they really are. They tried. They really tried early on. They tried with Quantum Break. They really wanted Quantum Break to be that next big title that defined the generation for the Xbox. It didn't hit. Um, you know, it was something they invested a lot in. They invested a lot of money in. They could have had another Alan Wake. Instead, they wanted a new IP, and that's what they got. So it didn't work out the way people wanted it to. They're working on some game that they are trying to model after Horizon Zero Dawn in some sort of fashion. I can't stress this game enough because Horizon Zero Dawn, though that game, though I think the game is really good. I think the game has a really solid story and graphically is very beautiful, especially on the Pro. It's not something that's new or unique as far as gameplay is concerned, other than the mechanical dinosaur type characters. It's basically Far Cry Primal or, you know, Tomb Raider when you harvest and build weapons and stuff like that, and you're just basically trying to survive out in the wild. So there's nothing in that regard, but Microsoft plans to build some sort of big open world game with a protagonist and a deep story based on this. I don't know what that game is going to be, but that's the game that they have that they're working on, as well as 2 other titles I heard that they're working on and some other stuff. So they have some games they're working on that's coming out. I don't know when, but they're supposed to be coming out this generation. We'll see what happens in the next couple of years. But yeah, I think this year their lineup is okay. I think it's good. I don't think it's great. I think they've had way better years than this year. I think Crackdown 3 will be a fun game. I don't think it will sell well. Forza will sell well. I think State of Decay will sell well. Yeah, I think Sea of Thieves come out next year too. Sea of Thieves is going to sell. Sea of Thieves has really picked up a lot of momentum over the last couple of months. And it's really ramped up for a lot of Xbox fans, a lot of people who don't have Xbox but want a pirate game. And they're really starting to show this stuff off with their diaries and everything that you can find on YouTube. Really great stuff from those guys at Rare. I can't wait to see more on Sea of Thieves. Oh, man. Dizzy says, Cal, will you be in support of Baby Army It Up with Cognito on Conan Exiles? Absolutely. I can't wait to get on Conan, bro. What? It's going to be nuts. Get the pun. Let's see here. D21 exclusive asks, how good do you think the trade-in offers for X will be? Also, I agree. Xbox Play Anywhere should go. It will create good stigma around Xbox. I agree. I think first of all, let me answer the first question. I think the trade-in program will be, I think about when the PlayStation, what was it? No, I remember when the Xbox first came out, and you could trade in a Xbox 360 that was damn near 8 years old for $150. At one point, it was 170. I think it got as high as almost like $200. It was nuts. So I want to say when a new platform comes out, Microsoft will probably have a few deals with GameStop or deals with some places where if you trade in your Xbox, at least the Xbox, the OG Xbox One, which I'm pretty sure everybody in a baby mama is going to trade in the OG Xbox One. I think that will probably trade in for at least 100, 110 at most. I don't see it being 150. You do 150 for the OG Xbox, the Xbox One S got to go for like 175, $200. So I think 100 would be max for that. I think for the Xbox One S, 500 gig, you might get 110, 125, maybe 130. You're looking at least, and you're looking at dropping that thing down to at least $299. You're looking at, you're looking at least dropping down the Xbox One X to at least, not $299, excuse me. I'm thinking of myself because I got 2 Xboxes. You're at least looking at dropping it down to about, I would say about $475. If you trade in an Xbox, a controller, if you got Connect, if you have any games. Depending on how old the games are, about 170, about 100, about 470, not 470, I'm sorry. It's 499, so about 375, excuse me. So you're looking at about 375, I would say, on trade-in value, or 350 at max. 350 at max if you got one console. I don't see it going anywhere higher than that. And the bigger the hard drive, the more money it's worth. So I say 150 at max, probably for like a 2 terabyte Xbox One Slim, maybe like 125 or 119, 115 for a 500 gig, and probably 100 for OG Xbox, or $90 for OG Xbox. I can see that happening unless Microsoft just really kicks out a crazy incentive. That's the max that I see. As far as Xbox Play Anywhere, I agree, man. I just think they need to. If Xbox Play Anywhere is not working out the way they want it to, and you're not going to continue to be stubborn and force the issue and fix the store and make the games work the way PC gamers want it to work, and take that feedback and build it just like a Steam, or like Origin or GOG or any other platforms that allow you to play games, and stop maybe being so controlling because you're worried about pirating and stuff like that. I think if Microsoft was able to do that, they would be way more accessible and more people would buy it. But because they are the way they are, and because the games run the way they do, and because people don't like Windows 10, and in some instances people are jumping back to Windows 7, the last I read about Steam, well, I won't say Play Anywhere, just Xbox games on PC aren't turning out what Microsoft wanted to do. And they don't produce enough first-party games for it to be viable. That is the problem. If you wanted that platform to be viable, you would have had to pump out games so much that it would be viable as a platform, but it's not. You can't get the third-party support. You're not pumping out the first party you need, and people just aren't in love with the Windows Store on Xbox. I mean, on PC. So just drive. If I was them, I would cut my losses and just make a code for the Xbox gamer. Buy the game on Xbox. You get a free code for the PC version that you can play either on tablet or phone, or you're, if you're away. So that way, when you go on vacation, if there's a PC that you can play it on, you could download the game because you already have it. Download to the PC, hook your controller up, and continue to play away from home without your Xbox. But in order for that game to work, you have to have that game licensed to a working, viable Xbox. I think that's really important, and it would really, truly regain some identity for the Xbox fan, and really put it in a position where Microsoft is getting their exclusives back, and not just a console exclusive, but a full-on exclusive. People think exclusives, I won't say that they don't matter. They're not as important as they used to be, just based on sales, especially when everybody buys third party. But identity, and the fact that it gives people incentive to purchase that game plus the third party, big, especially for the PC crowd, which is what you want to try to regain. It's not the console crowd you need. It's the PC crowd. It's the PC guys that abandoned you because you put your games on PC. And if they're not going to play it on PC, then take it away and make them get the console. And like, I don't know, whatever, man. Microsoft be on some ish. Dale Van Fossen asks, what's your thoughts on the preview program, Cal? Are you for it, against it, or hesitant of it? I've been in preview since day one. As soon as they announced it, I jumped in it. And I have never looked back. Look, when I go into these things, I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. I understand the bugs. I understand the issues. I understand the problems. And when those things happen, I either call up Microsoft and request a new console, or I get a good warranty from some type of store and swap them out immediately and just get right back into the program. So, I'm all for it, man. I think Microsoft doing the preview program is smart. It's made their platform, especially their operating system, really, really intuitive and really good. I know a lot of people feel like the PlayStation, I have as a PS4 owner, I get what people mean as far as how easy it is to maneuver the PlayStation dashboard and get to things. But to me, it's just so generic. I really don't like the PlayStation dashboard. It is quick. It is easy to get to. The PlayStation Store, I love the PlayStation Store because it just gives you so much information. There's like so much to it and so much to explore. It makes you want to explore to find something. Whereas the Xbox Store is a little bit different. It's a little bit slower, a little bit clunky. You got to wait for images to load. That's one of the gripes that I have about that store. And they need a cart. And they need a cart. The Xbox Store needs a cart because buying one game individually is a pain in the butt. So, but besides that, I think preview is great. If they can continue to improve the dashboard and make it as fast as possible, allowing gamers to now with the new update coming out, build their own dashboard how they want instead of constantly messing with it themselves. There's nothing better than customization. Anyone who can customize things the way they want, you can't complain because it's up to them to what they want to do with that particular platform and their particular OS. So that would be great for them. Yeah. So listen, man, that's it for the show. I want to thank everybody for stopping out. I really appreciate you guys. Dizzy, thank you. Dale, thank you. Cog, the squad, I appreciate it. 21, appreciate you as always, man. The God who came on earlier on the show, Last Side Ninja, and Showan, Aaron. Listen, man, appreciate you guys. Future generations, I really appreciate the support. As always, you guys are very important to the Inner Circle Network, as well as Tick Podcast and Tick as Xbox fans. And the guys out there who like PlayStation and stuff like that, man, I appreciate you as well. We are working on Trophy Life and trying to revamp that show, as well as Multiverse. We're going to do a better job at trying to get the guys who are into comics, into anime, into those movies, and really try to appeal to those people out there. And then, of course, man, we're always working to improve and get better. So thank you, as always, for the support. And that's it. That's it for the show. I'm going to head on out. You guys have a great night. I will see you tomorrow night with another episode of Tick Podcast with the Trinity, myself, Anchorman V, and B Money 101. So I'm your host, KOR X Kalel, the last son of Planet Xbox. I will see you guys next week. Peace.